One is exponential function. Let me recall those. Exponential function. One is exponential function, that is when f of x is e raised to ax, then the keyword is replace d by a, isn't it? Then we have discussed f of x is, if the right hand side function is trigonometric function sine ax plus b or cos of ax plus b, then what is the keyword there? D square. Replace d square by minus of a square. Of course, this should not be the case of failure. We know the case. We know the criteria. If the 1 upon 5 of d is of case of failure, what we are doing, we are multiplying that operator by independent variable, isn't it? So this is a replacement. Then in case of hyperbolic function, like hyperbolic sine of ax plus b or hyperbolic cos of ax plus b, we have the substitution is replacement d square by plus a square. So is there any doubt with these cases? In the last three cases, is there any doubt? uh, when we discuss all these cases, we'll discuss the combined example, no problem, don't worry. But right now, for better understanding of the particular case, we are discussing at least one example on that case, isn't it? So please ask if any doubt meanwhile. Now case number 4. Write down case number 4. When f of x is a polynomial function of the form x raised to m, x to the power m, if f of x is a polynomial function. See, just let me ask you, this is not a part of syllabus, it is a part of basics or the concepts. Is there any condition on m for being f of x or x raised to m to be a polynomial function? Is there any condition on m? Just for the curiosity, let me know if there is condition on this m, x raised to m. Are you getting my question?
It shouldn't be minus infinity.
Okay, that is correct. It should not be minus infinity, but for the finite values, is there any restriction? Shweta says not equal to 0. No, that is not correct. If it is equal to 0, then that will be anything raised to 0 is a constant number, or 1 we can say, isn't it? 1. And that is a polynomial. Any constant function, in fact, can be expressed in terms of variable, so that is a polynomial. No problem. So yeah, m can be equal to 0. Is it clear, Shweta? M can be equal to 0. Okay, fine. So is there any condition on m? Is it possible to have that m to be negative? Negative. If m is negative, then this will be a rational function, remember, because that x raised to m will be in the denominator, isn't it? And in case of rational functions are not polynomial, isn't it? That we have discussed, I think, in 7th or 8th standard. M must be a whole number, including 0. So natural number including 0, that is whole number, isn't it? So that is what the condition. So if the right hand side function, actually, let me tell you again that we are trying to solve the linear differential equation of the form phi of d into y is equal to f of x. So if this f of x is of the form this polynomial function, like x square or x square plus 2x plus 3, whatever, a polynomial, isn't it? Let me know if is this a function polynomial, x square plus 2x plus log x. Is it a polynomial?
No, sir.
No, because the additional term is log x, isn't it? But I can split this function as a polynomial function plus another function of x, isn't it? And then I'll operate that operator over this and this. So combinedly, this is not a polynomial function, but I can break into polynomial and some function of x. So if f of x is a polynomial function, then how to get the particular integral by shortcut method? So we have a shortcut for this again. Uh, what is the particular integral formula? Pi is equals to 1 upon phi of d into f of x. So that is 1 upon phi of d into f of x is x raised to m, isn't it? So actually this case is slightly different than the previous three cases. There were we have discussed direct substitutions for this operator d or phi of d, isn't it? But here we don't have direct substitution. We have to do some changes. Instead of changes the calculations, that we are going to express this 1 upon phi of d uh, in terms of infinite series expansions, we can say infinite terms. So do you know that any rational function we can express, any rational function we can express in terms of infinite terms or sum of infinite terms, series of infinite terms? Do you know such any example, any such infinite expansion? Actually, you know very well, that's why I'm asking. But let me check whether you have remembered or not. That any such function I can write in terms of infinite terms, sum of infinite terms. Or for example, 1 upon 1 plus x. Can I write this rational function in terms of sum of infinite terms? Can I write this rational function? Do I have any, or actually that is called Taylor's or Maclaurin series that you have discussed in M2 and even in 12th also, isn't it? Binomial theorem. Tanmay says binomial theorem. Yes, correct. Actually, I can use the binomial theorem for 1 plus x raised to minus 1, isn't it? So if I generalized it, I have the binomial theorem for a plus b to the power n, right? What is that expansion? Remember this expansion, a plus b raised to n, in terms of combinations. That is, we will consider the highest power of any one of the two variables or the numbers. So what is that? Suppose if I raise a raised to n, or I can write nc0, a raised to n, and b raised to 0, second to the power 0. And then I'll go on decreasing the powers of first and increasing the powers of second with these coefficients. This is called a combination. Do you know this is a combination formula, NCR in general? So this is the first term in the expansion. Then second term. What is the second term? What is the second term in the expansion? Yes?
NC1 A raised to n minus
NC1.
1 B raised to 1.
Correct. NC1 A raised to n minus 1 B raised to 1. So that the sum of these indices must be that n. Is it? In all those terms, sum of indices always will be this n. Next term will be a raised to n minus 2, b raised to 2. So when I add n minus 2 plus 2, that will be n only, isn't it? So in this way we can check. So in this way, I can write any rational function. So if this power is negative, then that will be 1 upon a plus b raised to n, and that will be a rational function, isn't it? So that also I can express in terms of infinite terms. Only what will be the change? These powers will be, or here this will be minus n, thing else. All right. And the combination formula NCR to get the coefficient. What is the formula for NCR? NCR is n factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial. Do you remember this NCR combination formula? All right. So what I'm going to express for polynomial function, I'm going to express this 1 upon phi of d rational function in terms of infinite terms, and then I'll operate each term in that infinite expression onto this function. Is it? So how? Let us write right after this. Write down. Take a note after this. Or let me write 1 upon phi of d. This is equal to phi of d to the power minus 1. x raised to m. So write down. We shall now expand. Write down. We shall now expand phi of d raised to minus 1 in ascending powers of d. We shall now expand phi of d raised to minus 1, phi of d the whole raised to minus 1, remember, in ascending powers of d as far as the terms in d raised to m. As far as the terms in d raised to m. And operate on x to the power m. And operate on x raised to m. Term by term. That means I'm going to operate each term in that expansion onto x raised to m, f of x. So, and operate on x raised to m term by term. Next line is very important. Since m plus 1th and higher derivatives of x raised to m will be 0, since m plus 1th, how to write m plus 1th? This one. Since m plus 1th and higher derivatives since m plus 1th and higher derivatives of x raised to m are 0, since m plus 1th and higher derivatives of x raised to m are 0, we need not to consider the terms beyond d raised to m. We need not to consider the terms beyond d raised to m. We need not to consider the terms beyond d raised to m. So what this line says, see, suppose if we have, please note this, suppose if we have powers of x to be 2, x square, if we have function f of x is x square, isn't it? Then I can see what is d of x square? What is d of x square? Reply please. What is d of x square?
2x.
2x. D means
2x.
derivative. So that is 2x. What is d square of x square? D square of x square is
2.
2. D square of x square is d of x square. That is d of 2x. That is 2. What is d cube of x square?
0.
0. And what is d raised to 4 of x square? That is again 0, and so on, isn't it? So what this note says, what that last line says, if the power of x is m, then m plus 1th derivative of that f of x will be 0, isn't it? M plus 1th. So here, since the power is 2, 2 plus 1th, that is third derivative, d cube will be 0. And further all derivatives are 0. So we are not going to consider those terms in the expansion, isn't it? See, what this note says, I'm going to expand this phi of d raised to minus 1 in increasing powers of d. And since there are infinite terms in that expansion, does it mean that I'll be having infinite, this particular integral will be in terms of infinite terms? No. Remember, we are trying to get the finite particular integral from the infinite expansion. How? That depends on this m. So though the infinite and though the terms in this expansion will be infinite, but when we operate each term onto this function, then after some finite number of times, those derivatives are getting 0, like this. Suppose in the first term I'll be having d, then d of x square will be 2x only. Then in second term, suppose I'll be having d square, then d square of that x square will be 2. Suppose in third term I'm having d cube, then d cube of this x square will be 0. So that term, the whole term will be 0. Suppose in fourth term I'll be having d raised to 4, then what is d raised to 4 on x square? 0. So and so on. Further all terms we are getting to be 0, isn't it? And we'll be having a finite expansion. Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay with the note I've given? Reply fast, please. Everyone. Okay, so here the main part is expansion. So write down next line. The standard expansions will use the standard expansions are as follows. That is 1 upon 1 plus p. What is this standard expansion? Do you know this? Do you remember? 1 upon 1 plus x or 1 upon 1 plus p can be written as? Yes? What is the expansion of 1 upon 1 plus x by Taylor's and Maclaurin series expansion? It is
1
equal
plus y
to,
square, 1 plus y minus y square plus y cube, alternate plus minus that.
what is that y? Where have
P,
it
P,
been
sorry,
written?
P.
P. 1 plus p. Next is
Minus p square.
alternate plus minus signs here, you mean,
Yes,
huh?
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
actually 1 minus p plus p square minus p cube plus and so on. Is it okay? So this is the infinite expansion of this rational function 1 upon 1 plus p. Similarly, we have one more standard expansion of 1 upon 1 minus p. P is any variable I have taken to avoid the confusion in between x and this. If I write 1 upon 1 plus x, then that is okay, isn't it? But to avoid the confusion of this x and this x, I have taken p. That is for our convenience. So that is the expansion is 1. All the terms in this are positive. 1 plus p square plus p cube plus and so on. So these are the only two important expansions we are going to use in this case. This is very important case. Please ask if any doubt in the expansion and in the case. Please ask if any doubt. Any doubt? Any doubt? All right.
No, sir.
So, write down note. Note. Actually, to use these expansions, we always need 1 na, in the denominator, right? So the question is, if 1 is not there, actually, I hope you're able to compare this with the particular integral, because what I'm going to do, the rational function 1 upon phi of d, pi is 1 upon phi of d into suppose x raised to m. Then what I'm going to express one of this rational function 1 upon phi of d in terms of infinite sums. Suppose let us consider that phi of d is 1 upon d plus 1. Very simple. 1 upon d plus 1, say x square. Is it okay? Then how to expand this? Using the expansion 1 upon 1 plus p. What is p here? D, isn't it? If I compare this 1 upon phi of d into with that 1 upon 1 plus p, then here p is d, isn't it? So what is this? What is the expansion of this? 1 minus d plus d square minus d cube plus and so on, and the whole will be operated on x square. Is it okay? And then what I'll do, I'll operate each term of this expansion onto x square. So 1 operated on x square is x square, 1 into x square, minus d operated on x square, that is d of x square, plus d square operated on x square, minus d cube operated on x square, plus and so on. Is it okay? And now, what is d of x square that we have discussed? D means derivative of x square, that is 2x, isn't it? So d of x square is 2x. So x square minus 2x plus what is d square of x square? That is 2, isn't it? What is d cube of x square? That is 0 plus 0 and so on 0. So I'm getting finite term, and that is my final particular integral. So actually this case looks difficult, but it is not. It is very easy. That simply depends on the expansions. Is that okay? Is that okay with the case? So let us write some remarks. Write down first a remark or note, we can say. we always take constant term common from the denominator. We always take constant term common from the denominator. We always take constant term common from the denominator. So if constant term is 1, then that is of no use whether to take common or what, isn't it? If I take 1 common, then 1 into d plus 1 only, isn't it? So if constant term is other than 1, then this note will be applicable. Suppose if I have d square plus 3, if I have d square plus, d plus 3, is it? So can I use that expansion directly here for this? Can I use? Just check. Can I use 1 upon 1 plus p to this? No. I have to express this in that standard form 1 upon 1 plus p. So how to get that standard form? I have to take these 3 common. So that is what this note says. Always try to take constant term common from the denominator. So what I'll get? 1 upon 3 into 1 upon, I'll write 1 plus d by 3. Is it okay? 1 upon 1 plus d by 3. Is it okay? Where
Yes, sir.
d by 3 will be 1 and d by 3. So what is p here? What is p here? P is d by 3, isn't it? 1 upon 1 plus p. So this is my p. And then I'll substitute this p into the expansion. The expansion of 1 upon 1 plus p is 1 minus p plus p square minus p cube and so on. And that the each term in that expansion I'll operate on x square. So that is what this note says. Always take constant term common from the denominator. Next line. Now you might be thinking that if constant term is not there, that is possible, na? Because in the last example only, we have seen that constant term is not there. I think that was d square minus 4d or d cube minus 4d something, right? 4d. So constant term is not there in the denominator. So how to deal with such cases? So write down, if constant term is not there in the denominator, next note, if constant term is not there in the denominator, if constant term is not there in the denominator, then the minimum power of d is taken common. Then minimum power of d is taken common. From the denominator. Then minimum power of d is taken common from the denominator. I hope it is clear that if suppose phi of d is d square plus 3d, then constant term is not there in the denominator. Then what we'll do? We still want 1 there, isn't it? So what we'll do? We will take minimum power of
D common.
D common.
Instead of d, we can say 3d the whole term because I want to get 1 there, na? So this is the minimum power of minimum power term. Is that okay? So I'll take that the whole 3d common. So 1 upon 3d into 1 upon 1 plus d square by 3d. Is it okay? And that is operated on x square. Is it okay?
Sir, it should be d by 3, no? No, okay, sir. हाँ, sir.
I'm taking 3d common, na? Isn't it? So d square by 3d. So 1d will get cancelled there. And I'll be having the value of p to be d by 3 only. Isn't it? So what I'll be having now? 1 upon pi is equal to 1 upon, is it okay? Is it visible? 1 upon 3d into 1 upon 1 plus p, where p is d by 3 operated on x square. And now I can write the expansion of this, isn't it? What is that expansion? 1 plus p, 1 minus p, that is d by 3, plus p square, that is d by 3 the whole square, that is d square by 9, minus d by 3 the whole cube, that is d cube by 3 cube, that is 27, plus and so on. And I'll operate this expansion onto x square. So what I'll get after operating this, each term of the expansion onto x square, 1 into x square is x square, minus d by 3 or 1 by 3 into d of x square, that is 2x, plus 1 by 9 into d square of x square, that is 2, and further all terms will be 0. That we have discussed in the note. Are you getting my point? So here we are getting the finite expansion. And what about this? 1 upon 3d. Now what 1 upon d means what? This 1 upon 3 I'll write outside. 1 upon d means integration. So I'll integrate each term of this with respect to x. So 1 upon 3 into x square ka integration, x cube by 3 minus 2 by 3 into x square by 2 plus 1 by 9 or 2 by 9 into x. And that is your final answer. Remember, d should not be there anywhere in the final answer. D we have reduced, eliminated throughout. Is that okay? It's so easy, very easy. Please ask if any doubt. So we have discussed that if 1 is not there in the denominator, then how to get that 1? We are taking constant term common from the denominator. But still, if constant term is not there, then we are taking lowest degree term common from the denominator. And then we will use the expansion 1 upon 1 plus p or 1 upon 1 minus p. Okay? Any doubt? So let us have one basic simple example to discuss the case, and then we'll go to the next case. It is easy actually. Write down. Solve d square y by dx square. Solve d square or d2y by dx square minus dy by dx is equal to x cube minus 3x square plus 1. X cube minus 3x square plus 1. Yes. So what is the complementary function? Don't wait for me now. Its capital D form is d square minus d times y is equal to x cube minus 3x square plus 1. All right. So the roots are d equal to 0 and 1. Right? So the complementary function is c1 plus c2 e raised to x. Because by taking d common, d into d minus 1, that is d equal to 0 and d equal to 1 are the roots, real and distinct roots. So c1 e raised to 0x, which is 1, plus c2 e raised to 1x. That is a complementary function. Please ask if any doubt. Now the next is particular integral pi is equals to 1 upon phi of d into f of x. I'm not writing the formula, but you should write 1 upon phi of d into f of x. So 1 upon d square minus d into f of x, that is x cube minus 3x square plus 1. And now, what to do? Yes. I have to expand this rational function, but I don't have constant term there. Sorry, I don't have even constant term also, 1 also. I have lowest power, isn't it? That is d. So I have to take d common. That we have discussed in the notes. So what I'll get? 1 upon 1 or d minus 1, is it? 1 upon d minus 1. But I want in standard form 1 upon 1 minus p or 1 upon 1 plus p. So what I'll take? I will take minus d common. So minus 1 by d into this will be minus, this will be plus, and this will be minus. So I'll write 1 here, 1 minus d. Please check once. Is it okay? X cube minus 3x square plus 1. Is that correct one? I have taken minus d common from the denominator. And now I have the expansion formula for 1 upon 1 minus p. What is that expansion? 1 upon 1 minus...
p square.
Correct. So pi is equals to, I'm writing here, I hope it is visible. Pi is equals to minus 1 by d into 1 plus p is d here, plus p square, that is d square, plus p cube, that is d cube, and so on, and that is operated on this polynomial. What is that polynomial? X cube minus 3x square plus 1. So that is equals to minus 1 by d 1 into this, that is x cube minus 3x square plus 1 plus d, I'm writing here, x cube minus 3x square plus 1 plus plus d square operator on this, that is d square of this, I'm just writing the bracket, but you write the term in bracket, the same polynomial, plus d cube into the same thing, plus and so on. So that is equals to minus 1 by d into x cube minus 3x square plus 1. What is d of this polynomial? Yes. What is d of the polynomial?
3x square minus 6x.
3x square minus 6x. Derivative. D means derivative. So that is 3x square minus 6x. What is d square of the same polynomial? Plus d square means derivative of this. Is it derivative of d? That is 6x minus 6. Right? And plus d cube of this polynomial, plus d cube. D cube of polynomial means d of this d square. So derivative of this 6x minus 6 is 6. And plus d raised to 4 of the same polynomial will be 0, na? That we have discussed, that d m plus 1th derivative of x raised to m will be 0. So d raised to 4 and further all derivatives will be 0. I hope it is clear. Now simplify the terms. Minus 1 by d into x cube minus 3x square plus 3x square gets cancelled. Minus 6x plus 6x gets cancelled. Even minus 6 plus 6 also, plus 1. Please check the calculations. Please check. If and now 1 upon d of x cube plus 1 means what? Integration. 1 upon d means integration. So minus integration of x cube plus 1 with respect to x. So that is minus integration of x cube is x raised to 4 by 4 and 1 ka integration x. So that is your particular integral, final particular integral. And therefore the general solution is y is equal to cf plus pi. So y is equal to cf. What was cf? C1 plus C2 e raised to x, and pi is minus x raised to 4 by 4 minus x. Is that okay? Any doubt? Please ask if any doubt.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So let us discuss the next case. If no doubt, take the next case, case number 4. Case number 4 is 4 or 5? I think 5, na?
5.
Case number 5. When the right hand side function f of x is combination of exponential function and a function of x from the previous cases. That is, that may be a polynomial function, that may be a trigonometric function, or that may be a hyperbolic function. Isn't it? So if f of x is a combination function like this, then now I'm giving the formula directly. Pi is equal to particular integral is 1 upon phi of d into e raised to ax into v, can be written as, you can write here, v is a function of x. V is a function of x. V is a function of x. So it will be equals to, now remember, this step is very important. What to do after this? Everyone please pay attention here, that after this, what we are going to do, we will take this exponential function outside the operator. Remember, that is a function, not the constant. We can only take constant function outside the operator. So if I'm saying exponential function outside the operator, then there might be some different substitutions, remember. So what are those? Please pay attention here. I'm writing this exponential function outside the operator, that is e raised to ax. E raised to a into x into 1 upon, now there will be a change in this phi of d. This phi of d will become function of d plus a. This is very important step, remember. Please note this. And into the rest function v. Please check once and ask if any doubt. Any doubt with the formula? Any doubt with the formula? Hello? Any doubt with the formula? This is my formula.
No.
That what we are doing? We are writing exponential function outside the operator and we are replacing this d by d plus a. That is my keyword. Keyword will be in 2 steps. Write exponential function outside the operator and immediately replace d by d plus a. Most of the students in examination doing the mistake that they are replacing d by d plus a before writing the exponential function outside the operator, or they are simply replacing d by d plus a, but still they are writing the exponential function there only. That is of no use. Remember, these steps are not equal. So these things we have to keep in mind, that we have to write exponential function outside the operator and immediately we have to replace d by d plus a. Most of the students are doing the mistake like this also, that they are writing exponential function outside the operator, but they are not replacing d by d plus a. They are simply writing like this. So this is again wrong step. They are replacing d by d plus a in next step. But remember, since we have written this exponential function outside the operator, there will be a change in d, and that will be d plus a. You might be thinking now, why we are replacing d by d plus a, and why and how we are taking exponential function outside the operator. So for that also I have a reason. Actually, the reason means the proof of this formula, and that is the same thing, just like we have proved the cases for exponential function, cases for sine, and cases for even hyperbolic functions also, that we are actually, our function is f of x is e raised to x into v, right? E raised to x into v. If I operate d onto this e raised to x into v, what I'll get? D of e raised to x into v. Now, since e raised to x is a function of x and v is a function of x, I'll have to use product rule of differentiation, isn't it? Product rule of derivative. What is that product rule? Which is equal to derivative of u, that is a e raised to x into v as it is, plus u as it is into derivative of v, right? dv I can write. Derivative of v is dv. Is that okay? V. Now, I can see that e raised to x into v is still common. I can take outside, or I can take common. So e raised to ax into d plus a into v, because I have taken e raised to ax and v common. Is that okay? If I take e raised to ax common, then what I'll get? Av plus dv. Again, I'm taking v common, but I'm writing to this side. So that will be d plus a into v. Is it okay? So what I'm getting? D of this is nothing but this. Now if I operate d square onto this e raised to ax into v, if I operate this, then what I'll get? In similar manner, d square of this means e raised to ax into d square v plus twice, I mean, first function as it is, e raised to x into d square v derivative of second function or derivative of first function into second function as it is like this. Also we can proceed. Plus what will be the next step? Plus derivative of actually double derivative, na? So a into a will be a square or a 2a. Acha. Actually, here d square means derivative of this. So we are differentiating this now. That means we are differentiating this. D square means we are differentiating this. So here a into derivative of this plus d of this derivative of the whole thing. So that will be d into dd square, and derivative of this will be again by product rule. So after simplification, what I'll get, that will be of the form e raised to ax into d plus a square into v. Is it? And if I generalized it, I'll get d plus a raised to n into v. Is it? So what I'm doing, if it is raised to n, then that will be raised to n. So if it is phi of d, function of d, then that means what? Function of d plus a. Isn't it? So that's why I'm replacing d by d plus a and I'm writing the exponential function outside the operator. So that is what the only case here, that is 1 upon phi of d of e raised to ax into v is e raised to ax into 1 upon phi of d plus a into v. That is only the formula. And then we will proceed with the form of v. If v is sine function, then we know the case for sine function. If v is hyperbolic, then we know the case for hyperbolic function. If v is polynomial function, then we know the case for polynomial function, like this. That's just the last case, isn't it? So in this way, we can solve, we can proceed with the further case. So let us solve one example on this case and then we'll stop with this case. Write down. Example. Solve d square minus 4d plus 3. D square minus 4d plus 3 times y equals to d square minus 4d plus 3 times y is equals to x cube e raised to 2x. X cube e to the power 2x. So get the roots of this and write the complementary function. What are the roots here?
1, 3.
1 and 3 are the real distinct root. Therefore, the complementary function is c1 e raised to x plus c2 e raised to 3x, or c1 e raised to 3x plus c2 e raised to x also. That is also correct one. Now, particular integral pi is equals to 1 upon phi of d into f of x. So 1 upon phi of d is d square minus 4d plus 3 into f of x, that is x cube e raised to 2x. Now I'll check whether this case is solvable with the help of shortcut or not. If it is not solvable with the help of shortcut, then I'll solve, or I'll use general method. So how do I check? I'll check whether this function is out of those forms I have discussed or I'm discussing in shortcut. So yes, so this is, if I compare this with the fifth case, this is of the form e raised to ax into v. E raised to ax into v. Is it okay? So I can use that case here, last case, fifth case. So what this case says, that says write this exponential function outside the operator e raised to 2x and immediately replace d by d plus a. Phi of d changes to d plus phi of d plus a. I hope you have remembered the formula. So we are replacing d by d plus a. So 1 upon d plus, what is a here? What is a?
2.
Yes, a is 2, e raised to x. So a is 2. So d plus 2 square minus 4 into d plus 2 plus 3 into v. What is v? X cube. Now simplify it. So that is equals to e raised to 2x into 1 upon. Now simplify this. The expansion of this is d square plus 2d plus 4. Sorry, d square plus 4d plus 4 minus 4d minus 8 plus 3. So plus 4d and minus 4d will get cancelled. So I'm writing directly d square minus 4d plus 4d will get cancelled. Plus 4 and minus 8. Plus 4 minus 8 is minus 4 plus 3.
minus 1.
Minus 1. 1 upon d square minus 1 into x cube. Is that okay with this? Now just don't involve this exponential function now in the function. What is the job of this exponential function? To replace d by d plus a. That we have done, isn't it? So now the job of this x e raised to x will be over. Don't involve that inside the operator now. So now we are having only 1 upon d square minus 1 into x cube. And now proceed with the next case. What that case is? For polynomial function, we are expanding this, isn't it? But for the expansion, we need this of the form 1 upon 1 plus p or 1 upon 1 minus p. So for that, we have to take minus 1 common. So that will be minus e raised to 2x into 1 upon 1 minus d square operated on x cube. So what is p here? P is d square, 1 upon 1 minus p. And now expand using the formula, that is minus e raised to 2x. The expansion is 1 plus p square plus p cube and so on, operated on x cube. See, remember, all the non-zero terms I have to consider, isn't it? So just don't write by trial and error that this may be 0 and so on. Just check whether it is 0 or non-zero. If it is non-zero, then we have to take into account, isn't it? If you are not considering that, then the answer will be different. So here minus e raised to 2x into 1 of x cube is x cube plus d square of x cube. What is d square of x cube? D square means
6.
double derivative, isn't it? So d square means d of x cube. What is d of x cube? 3x square. Again, its d will be 6x. So 6x. D square
0.
square means d square square means d, by laws of indices it will be d raised to 4, 2 into 2, isn't it? And d raised to 4 operated on x cube will be 0. That I have seen, that m plus 1th derivative of x raised to m will be 0. So here 4th derivative of x raised to 3 will be 0. So I'll stop here. And that is my final particular integral. You can check, d is not there anywhere. So that is my final particular integral. That's very easy case again, just like the polynomial function previous example. So write down the general solution. Therefore, the general solution or the complete solution is CF plus PI, complementary function plus particular integral. Please ask if any doubt. Any doubt? So shall we stop here today? I'll just check
Okay,
the
sir.
chat box. I hope everything is clear from today's lecture, and I hope it is consistent also. There is no net problem. All right, so we'll stop here. I'm going to stop